So today we have a wonderful topic on hormones. We have Dr. Greg Olsen, who is right here. He's a chiropractor who is very much into natural healing, something we all love. He's not about masking the problem. He's really about getting down to the underlying issue. And he is in the area. He's in Lake Forest. So he's going to have an amazing topic today, and you're going to be learning tons. Dr. Olsen?
Thank you, Tina. Good morning, Saddleback women.
Good morning.
It's great to see you this morning. And my name is Dr. Greg Olsen. Tina already introduced me. I am a local doctor. I've been in practice for 17 years. And today, my hope is to share with you what my experience has been in 17 years as far as working with women on a natural basis, I will say a precursor basis to balancing hormones. So as we work through this, let me ask you today, how many of you were sent here today by some significant other saying that you need to get your hormones balanced? Raise your hand. So that happens sometimes, but in the course of today, we're going to go over some of the problems that happens with hormones. We're going to talk about different ways to address them or assess them, and then there'll be a little demonstration at the end, and move on from there. So there may be questions that come up for you during the time of the workshop. I'm going to ask you to hold those until the end. I'm going to try to get through this material so I can make sure that you get the information. Okay? When I do these workshops, I always like to introduce that as a doctor, many people think that as a doctor, the job is just to treat people. But if you look up the definition of doctor, doctor means teacher. So as my first role that I look with people is my role as a teacher. And that's why should I go out and do events such as this. This is one of the topics that I do, balancing hormones naturally. So without further, let me tell you also a little bit about myself. I've been in practice for 17 years, but I truly believe God led me to this path. It was maybe a little naive on my part with certain things, but when I was young, there were certain things that I read in the Bible. One of them stuck with me, for example, and that was 1 Corinthians 6, 19 and 20, where it starts out basically saying, your body is the temple of God. So when I read that, I always pictured, okay, whatever I'm doing to my body, is it respecting God? And so I would look at that with respect to activities that I was doing, foods that I'd be eating. And that happened with me actually back in high school when I started to look at that connection, which now looking back, it makes sense why I got led to this path. I also look sometimes at different things with a little different perspective. For example, just when I read certain things like the Lord's Prayer, not to say the whole thing for time purposes today, but for example, when he says, give us this day our daily bread, I think, okay, well that doesn't mean Wonder Bread, that doesn't mean the white bread, the crusty bread, no genetically modified grains. I'm going, okay, where's the sprouted grains? That's what I think he means. And when he says, lead us not into temptation, I'm thinking, okay, lead us not into temptation, McDonald's, Wendy's, etc. So that's just my kind of path that I've gone on. When I see things that I always have that health connection. I also look at a connection, and it says that I look at what would Jesus eat? Okay. A while back there was the movement of what would Jesus do? And I said, what would Jesus eat? If we look at certain things, very simply, Genesis 1, 29, 30 says, God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. I give you every green plant for food. Okay? So following the Daniel plan, you can see where that is definitely in there. It's God's path for us to eat from the earth, not from packaged foods. So enough said on that path. Let's go on to the talk now. So when we talk about women's hormones, everybody goes through a path in life where hormones begin production in the body. For women, for women and men, it begins with puberty, but we're talking about women today. With puberty through menopause, different points, different symptoms, different changes can occur. waiting patiently here. There we go. So the common solution many times is hormone replacement therapy. And over the last few years, there have been problems that have been discovered with hormone replacement therapy. And so prior to 2005, that was the major course that was recommended as far as balancing your hormones. There was a study done to look at the benefits and the risks associated with hormone replacement therapy. In 2002, this study was stopped. Very simply, they found that the risks were outweighing the benefits. Okay? Too many people getting cancer, blood clots, heart attacks. So when you look at it, hot flashes, and some of the other problems associated with menopause, is it really worth it to go through hormone replacement therapy and risk the benefit of having blood clots, heart attacks, or strokes? Pretty easy decision. So some of the numbers here, among the women taking estrogen and progestin, heart attacks increased 29%, 41% increase in strokes. This also recognized an increase in clots in the estrogen progestin study, and they found that 34 out of every 10,000 women got blood clots in their lungs or legs. Who thinks that's a good option as far as hormone replacement therapy? Somebody might say, well, it depends upon how bad the hot flashes are. Okay. So when we move in talking about hormones, a natural part of this discussion is talking about breast cancer. Up until recently, in 2002, when really hormone replacement therapy began decreasing because of the results of these studies, there really was no decrease in the occurrence of breast cancer. But now they're seeing a 7% decrease with regard to breast cancer as a result of this change in medical practice. Hysterectomies, sometimes is a recommended solution. Look at that or look at these recommendations. Okay. For today, what we did, because we're talking about hormones and trying to make it so it's a situation where if there's something you want to take action on, we have in the back for later. If anybody wanted to do a saliva hormone test, we do have the kits available. Okay, so they're just available for testing today. The people who would be eligible for testing today would be a single sample saliva test. You would either have to be past your cycle, you'd have to be through to menopause, or you would need to be right around the 20th day of your menstrual cycle. Okay, that would be able to, if you wanted to do the testing today. It is a test kit where it gets sent off. The cost is $99. Has nothing to do with me or my practice. It's very simply, you would do the collection today, you make the payment to the lab, and it's handled completely through that. The results come back to my office, we contact you, and we can forward them to you or go over them with you, whatever the method would be that you want to do with that. It's just available for you in case anybody wanted to do that today.